Fish.
Yeah, here.
Anchor.
Here.
Tony.
Here. Here.
Tony.
Here.
Anderson is absent. Gustafson.
Here.
We have a quorum. First item this morning for discussion is a discussion on credit card fee and an update. Good morning, Bill.
All right, good morning. We talked about credit card fees a long time ago, probably early 2020. So, been a while, but here we are. We're going to talk about them today and give you a little summary where we're at. I really don't have a recommendation where we would go with them, and you'll kind of see that as when we come through here. But so a payment card processor acts as an intermediary between the business and then the customer that's going to swipe their card with us. So we have to have someone to make those transactions happen. They don't just happen because of our system. So we need a credit card processor. Payment card processors, then, they charge a fee when we do that. And they always have charged a fee since we started, probably back in the mid-90s is when we probably started taking credit cards. And average fees range between 1.5% to 3.5% per transaction. So 2021, we're estimating that our annual credit card fees will be about $240,000. So that is quite a bit of fees for credit cards, and we'll go through what we're accepting those for. The majority of those are for the liquor store. Certainly, we are running a retail business, so we are accepting debit and credit cards like any other retail business, and that's about $150,000. Our Cayenne is the processor for that. That's the company, Cayenne. We have to use Cayenne. We can't go out for proposals on that right now because our system at the liquor store is a total register system is the proprietary name of that, and we can only use Cayenne with that system. The good news is, good news, bad news, we'll be replacing that system in the next couple of years. Then we'll be able to go out for proposals and look for, a competitive fee on that if possible. So we are receiving a lot of credit card payments and cash payments as we no longer accept checks. So we're not dealing with NSF checks. And of course, we see that across the board in a lot of places where checks are no longer taken. And of course, these are card present transactions only because it's a walk-in store. There's nothing online with our liquor store, of course, with that. So those are only in place. Okay, Rev Track is our other processor, and we started that quite a number of years ago. We use Rev Track because the school district went on with Rev Track to keep things kind of consistent within the city as a whole. So that's processing all other transactions, and we take online and then in person. So in person here at City Hall, out at the landfill, but online also. If you think about all our registrations for summer rec programs where you can register and do that, Rev Track is the program that does the registering as well that Park and Rec uses. So liquor store point of sale, I talked about total register systems implemented back in 2009. We talked about Cayenne. It's about 2.5% of the sales for Cayenne. So the fees are just an operating expense. They're built into our pricing out there of the product. So kind of like you would at any other retail establishment. And I also said that we will look at replacing that point of sale system here in the next couple of years probably. So Rev Track is the other one we implemented back in 2005. You can see the various things that we're receiving credit cards for: utilities, landfill, Park and Rec, special assessment payments, fees, fines, permits through our front desk, and any other miscellaneous payments. And that's about 3.3%. Yes, that is a higher percentage, but keep in mind this program is also doing our registration and all that. For if you're going on summer rec, you're doing that through Rev Track. So it's doing more than just processing credit card fees on that one.
Hey, Bill, sorry, did I miss the, did you give us a number what that to the liquor store, what is the processing fee right now?
2.5%.
2.5. Got it.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed
So that is a little bit less than our Rev Track. So with Rev Track, enterprise funds, so water, sewer, stormwater, refuse fund, they make up about 85% of what we are receiving payments by credit card. So therefore, we allocate those costs out to the refuse, sewer, and water funds, our main utility funds. So we're just getting that bill in for credit card fees. We allocate it 3 ways each month because the bulk of them go there. We don't take the time to say, okay, this special assessment was paid here, let's allocate that fee. Just the cost versus benefit of allocating out that fee wouldn't be there. So then also 74% of those are online payments. So people at home going on, paying their bill, and then using their credit card for that. So again, those fees are just considered an operating fee as well. So it's basically built in the utility rates. That is our next topic on the agenda here this morning. Now, Rev Track would have the ability to attach a credit card surcharge to those transactions. Certainly has that ability. Now, we have a little problem over on this side, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But obviously at the liquor store, that we probably wouldn't attach a separate fee for using a credit card as we're a retail establishment, just like if you're going to Walmart or Walgreens, something like that. Here, you could do that, but our system is linked such that we download those transactions off of Rev Track, match them to the utility account so they can get applied that way. We would need to do some reprogramming to get where will that credit card fee go, maybe off over here to an admin fee. We can certainly do that if that would be the council's wishes. We just couldn't do that right away. And that's, we have a retirement coming in our IT area, not too far into 2022. And I know we would not get programming on another project going as we are doing the Bigwood Center, technology update and several other projects. So I'm just being realistic with that. That wouldn't happen in the near future. Okay, so that's my slides on there, just kind of a short presentation, but it gives you the lay of the land where we're at with credit card fees. Again, go ahead.
Question, Bill, and sorry, I was kind of reading ahead. Maybe you mentioned this, and if so, I apologize. So that 2.5%, the major one that I see an opportunity to lower, well, all of them maybe, but the liquor store, if we had a competitive bid on that, that's a lot of money going through there, and I'm sure that the processors, if it wasn't proprietary to the hardware we're using, would want to bid on. We could probably get. I know that's a competitive market, and people bid on the opportunity. So anyway, question is do we know, like, if we went from 2.5% to 1.5%, what that would? Did you?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't need to get in the weeds.
We need to dig into it
Yep.
because
Sure.
it's not an option right now.
Sure.
Until we move to a different point of sale system.
Sure.
It's not an option. And with, again, looking to where we are with IT and the future retirements, the point of sale isn't going to happen. That's
Probably
but
in-
we can look at, we can definitely look
Yeah.
at what the impact would be, but it just right now isn't something that we can even
Sure.
consider. So.
And we're looking at maybe later 22, more likely in 23, would be the point of sale system for the liquor store. I think we're projecting.
And that being said, the 2.5% is very close to our previous processor.
Sure. Okay.
Cayenne is close to who it is.
And did we have US Bank before?
Yes.
So a major processor prior to Cayenne too.
Yeah, Tom.
Just out of curiosity, how did U.S. Bank and Elon compare for fees when you used them before? Do you have any
I
recollection of
think
that?
you were thinking they're pretty close.
Okay, because
Yep.
I've got experience. I actually did a lot of credit card work and retail banking, and
Sure.
I know that Elon at the time had a deal where if you brought your business to them, they'd beat your rate no matter what it was. So, so you said that the card processing fees are kind of built into the pricing out at the liquor store?
Yep, it's just rolling through operations.
Yeah.
So as Brandon's setting his prices across the store,
Yep, just a cost of doing business because you have
Correct.
to take cards.
yep,
it's not
that's how
really-
we're treating it right now.
As far as the Rev Track, I pay my utility bill with my checking account every month because there's not as high a fee, or is there any fee to do it by ACH?
There is no fee. That's a good point that we,
So, you know, if there are ways that we can incentivize people to do that, you know, just point out, hey, you know what, it's going to save your tax dollars if you change this over to your
Yep.
checking account versus your credit card.
Kelsey just did that, right? So Kelsey, our new utility billing person, she was right
Yep.
on your wavelength with that.
Yep.
Sent out a mailing, I believe, right? Or was it with the utility bills? So went out with the utility bills promoting that, and she got a lot more participation, and we'll continue to do that
Yeah.
because, like you say, people don't, you know, kind of out of sight, out of mind. So put it in front of them every once in a while, and it's easy
Yeah.
for us too
Yeah.
because we're pulling those. We're not processing checks or credit cards even. It's all done in a batch of ACH.
Yep. Lynn has,
Well, we did the utility insert about 3 months ago. I checked with Kelsey just a second. She said hundreds came in just by doing a direct.
perfect, yeah.
We'll probably do another one later or
Yeah.
early in 2022.
Yeah.
But yeah, she got hundreds.
Yeah, figure out a way to make it as easy as possible for
Yeah.
people to switch it. So that, I mean, that's one little bit, but I mean, it sounds like our hands are pretty much tied until we replace that POS. That's a pretty good deal that Cayenne's got going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, Jim.
You know, I think like with our liquor store, our profits are pretty doggone good where they're at. I don't know that we want to mess with that. And I think everything overall has been going quite well, so why even mess with it at this point anyway? Because we're not getting anything done for a year or two until we get a new IT person in there to do all that. Let's just leave it the way it is. It's a good report. Thank you.
You bet. And yeah, out at the liquor store, Brandon, our manager, does do a great job. Our gross profit percentages are some of the highest in the state and in our region, certainly. So he is doing a really good job with managing the store and setting his levels of inventory and pricing. So
Scott?
Ben, you were asking what difference it might make if we were to change the rate. And just rough math, if 2.5% nets us $150,000 or costs us $150,000, if we were even able to drop it to 2, we'd save us $30,000. So, and that wouldn't change anything as far as our operations, you know, wouldn't change our, and again, that's down the road
Yep.
a full year or more, probably, but being able to save $30,000, well, I think we could find a place to put 30 grand.
absolutely.
And that was, yeah, I appreciate that, Scott. And that was the kind of the point. I just, with our business, I just went through this process of changing POS systems and going through that negotiation. And there is room, you know, I'm down the road, I'm not saying that we have to, you know, we're in a contract with Cayenne, I get it. But the point is there is opportunities to lower rates, and those rates do add up to dollars. So anyway, that's my one.
And we will be changing that point of sale system because it's kind of timing out on its useful life and then the service of it as well. So we'll have no choice but to change it, which is a good thing. We'll get to, you know, we planned for it. The funds are there to replace that point of sale system and then also look at other processors for competition. So it's something we have to do.
I got one question. On an average, how much, via people paying online and people having direct deposit online with their bills, what is the percentage roughly?
Of our customers, do you know that, Sandy? I don't.
I'd have to pull it. Actually, when you're looking at utility bills specifically, right?
Yeah.
A large percentage still pay by check.
Well, the reason being is all these things can be viewed online if you have an account. So the people who are paying online are naturally going on, because see, I just naturally pay mine. I don't have it directly taken out. Which means they're going to be online anyway. What is the cost savings with the people who are doing this on being able to not print and not send out their billing statements each month in order to recoup some of that cost, so we're not spending money on somebody who doesn't even pay attention? They can go in and just view it online anyway while they're taking care of things.
And that's certainly a future plan as well, to start migrating to paperless on the bills. Definitely a desire of us, because right now we do mail out bills to everyone. Even if if it's automatically withdrawn, you're getting a paper bill. That's the way our system is built. But that is a goal in the future as well to start migrating that utility system so you can go online, check your bill, pay it, and not even receive a paper statement. Because if you're like me, I don't like to get paper statements in the mail, but
The only problem you've got is there are still a majority of people in this town, not a majority, a small amount, that still have no computers, have no emails or anything else. I mean,
Right.
I would assume we'd have to maintain some kind of a bit, but the point is, for a majority, for the people who either pay it online or have it taken directly out of their accounts, I figure with the amount of printing and the cost of mailing it out, that we could recoup some of our fees right there.
absolutely. No, that's really a good
Yeah, very
concept
good
for us.
point. All right, well, thank you for the presentation, Bill,
Yep.
and appreciate the work on this. So moving along, item number 2 is a utility rate review, and again, Bill
Okay,
Tallman.
Lynn will get that brought up on the screen here. All right, so we introduced this a little bit in our budget presentation in September. This is the in-depth now, and as you see on your desk, there are lots of slides here, so I'll try to cruise along a bit, but we do have a few things to talk about in here that are important. So city enterprise funds, when what funds are we looking at? Refuse fund, sewer, water, stormwater. And within the refuse fund, we have all these different kind of departments of refuse. We have the garbage, where we go around and collect the garbage. We're the only one in town that, we allow to collect garbage. Recycling, same thing. Landfill, we know what's going on out there. The city runs the landfill. Demolition out at the landfill, that's your building waste kind of things that gets brought out there. And roll-off are those great big, 30-yard dumpsters you see. So an average utility bill right now for a customer using 6,000 gallons of water, we just lay that out for you, comes up to about $111. So when did we change rates last? So with COVID, when we came towards 2021, we didn't really want to make any changes. You as a city council said, let's just hold tight with that. Remember, we made no changes to the levy for 2021. You made the choice to also let's hold things steady in the enterprise funds as well. We only increased the disposal area of the refuse fund out of all those enterprise funds because the city was receiving an increase in the cost of disposal. That's why we did tweak that one. Everything else stayed the same for 2021. You can see recycling and tree management, it was back in 2017. 2020, we had various changes to dumpster and roll-offs, water, sewer, and storm. And demolition, we changed back in 2019. So here's where we fall for the water, sewer, and storm water. So you can kind of see in the middle of this chart, AE2S is an engineering firm that performs a survey each year, and we participate in that so we can get good data like this to see where we fall in with comparable cities. The refuse fund, again, we garbage, we collect it, we dispose of it. We have our recycling program. Tree management, that is taking care of the trees out at the landfill once they're brought out there. Landfill, demo, and roll-off. So current trend, operational costs of garbage, they continue to rise. Garbage is expensive, and it just continues to go up. We are going to see an increase from Otter Tail County because we go around and collect our garbage and then we dispose of it with Otter Tail County, going up about 2.5%. So you're going to see we're looking at just increasing our disposal charge that same 2.5%. We're also looking at 3% increase in the residential commercial collection fees in 2022, and then I talked about the disposal there. And that's 3% is to cover the general inflation. Certainly the city sees increased costs across the board as well, as we do everywhere right now. So with recycling and garbage here, we did see an initial drop in the tons of garbage into the waste stream when we sent out single sort recycling. So we did see that happen back in 17, but all of our costs continue to rise, and then without corresponding drops any longer in that garbage in the waste stream. So I think our recycling is holding pretty stable, and so is our garbage disposal. We're not seeing, great big increases in recycling numbers. People are being consistent with that, I think, as we're seeing. So we are looking at a recycling charge here going from $6 to $6.50 per month. Then commercial would be 7.58 to $8.20 per month, and that would be, your times per month on that commercial route. So we do look at, we need to increase recycling rates. And, that's probably not always a popular thing to do, but recycling, it costs us money to do it. We're not making money on recycling by selling product or anything. Basically, we're managing that waste stream is what we're doing. That's where those costs come from. I forget if there's another slide later in here, but maybe I will talk about it right now. I know in the past we've talked about, right now, Guy, we pick up recycling every other week, right? Right. And for the most part, we're seeing that, working out really well. I think, Caroline, you might have brought up in the past, would we ever look at going to, a weekly route of that? Right now, we probably would recommend we don't go that route, but if someone wanted another recycling can for more capacity of recycling, we would bring that out to them.